Alright, what is up everyone? Today I decided to make this video because a lot of you guys were really interested into the buff that's coming for Zhongli. First off, I would like to highlight that these adjustments are not final, okay? They're subject to change, and I don't understand this huge hype about him getting buffed. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at his skills, okay? So, adjustments to passive talent Dominance of Earth. Original effect. Increases planet B-Fall's damage by an amount equal to 33% of Zhongli's max HP. Post-adjustment effect. The damage dealt by the following of Zhongli's attack will be increased based on his max HP. Says, normal, charged, and plunging attack damage will be increased by 1.39% of max HP, okay? The Stone Stele, Resonance, and Holding Mode damage of Dominus Lapidus will be increased by 1.9% of max HP. And finally, Planet Pitfall's damage will be increased by 33% of max HP. Alright? So these two effects, they're just added. So this is definitely something you can call a buff. And this passive was a little weird in my eyes, you know? So the only good thing about making him tanky with HP was for his Q damage and for his shield. But now, it lets you do more damage for your normal, charge, and plunging attack, and his E. It is definitely a buff. But if you take a look at the percentage of max HP, 1.39%. That is not going to be so big in my eyes. So they're showing you the comparison here, right? The thing is, they're not showing you how much HP he has right now to compare those damages, right? So he's definitely going to be stronger as a so-called main DPS or physical damage DPS. If anyone is planning to build him like that, it's gonna be a viable build, but still in my eyes, it's a little weird. But anyways, let's move on to the number 2. Adjustment to Dominus Lapidus Holding Mode. So his E, right? Original effect causes nearby geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. Creates a shield of jade. The shield's damage absorption scales based on Zhongli's max HP and has 250% of geo damage absorption. Deals AoE geo damage. If there are nearby targets with the Geo element, it will drain a large amount of the Geo element from a maximum of 2 such targets. This effect does not cause damage. And then a post-adjustment effect causes nearby Geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. If the maximum number of Stone Stele has not yet been reached, it will create a Stone Stele. So as he uses his E, if there's no Geo on the field, then he's gonna create one. If you have a Constellation 1, then if there's one, and if he uses this again, then he's gonna make another one. You know what I mean? Creates a Shield of Jade. The shield's damage absorption scales based on Zhongli's max HP and has 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption. Deals AoE Geo damage. If there are nearby targets with the Geo element, it will drain a large amount of Geo element from a maximum of 2 such targets. This effect does not cause damage. This adjustment will also greatly increase the interruption resistance of Dominus Lapidus Holding Mode. So before, when you were trying to hold E and then you get hit, you get knocked back, right? But now, after the change, he should be able to just use E, ignoring all those hits. That is gonna be a good change. This change is one of the best as a support, and that's gonna be it for Zhongli change, and it's not final, alright? And then let's take a look at the Geo-Elemental mechanics. Adjustment to Geo Resonance, Enduring Rock. Original effect is increases resistance to interruption. When protected by a shield, increases attack damage by 15%. And then post-adjustment effect. Increases shield strength by 15%. Additionally, characters protected by a shield will have the following special characteristics. Damage dealt increased by 15%. Dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo resistance by 20% for 15 seconds. This will help you do more damage with your Geo characters. However, this change is still not good enough to say that Geo is the best. There's still broken reactions, such as Melt and Vaporize. They just do so much that this Geo buff is not going to be very effective, you know what I mean? So here's another one. Geo Shield Balance Adjustments. Geo Shields are adjusted from having 250% Geo damage absorption to having 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption. This was so weird, right? So Geo Shields were having the Geo damage absorption. You're using this usually against other monsters with non-Geo elements, usually, right? And now that they have changed it to 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption, this is really good. The Geo Shield is gonna be actually really nice. Like, it is gonna be much better than those elemental shields. The elemental shields have a great effect to the same effect. Like for example, if they have hydro shield, then hydro damage will like do no damage at all. It will do 1 damage maybe, like literally 1 damage, but geo damage is just good against everything. This change would bring a positive change to Zhongli and Noelle probably, and here it is. Affected effects include the geo shield created by Zhongli's elemental skill, Noelle's elemental skill, and geo shield created when picking up geo crystals dropped by Geovishop hatchlings. But are you guys happy enough about this change? I am not so sure. People are saying that the buff is really nice, but the way I look at it, they're gonna be releasing a character called Albedo, right? And Albedo needs to be sold. But after we got Zhongli, it's underwhelming, and we all know that Geo is not so great right now. And this change is gonna kick in at 1.3. So because of this change, are you willing to go for Zhongli and Albedo? And just hope that adjustments are final? I'm not so sure about this. This change might be viewed for us users to think that MiHoYo is trying to balance the Geo element to other elements so that they can do more damage, be more useful, but why Geo first? If they really thought about the users and thought about the games right now, they should be revisiting other elemental reactions first. But I suspect that they did this first because they wanted to bring in some hope for the people who spends money to actually go for Albedo instead of Ganyu. So I don't want you to get overhyped about Zhongli's buff, because even after the change, Geo is still not going to be that strong compared to Melt and Vaporize. And unless MiHoYo is trying to bring in the balance for the all elemental reactions, then I really can't view this as something positive. So let's say the change goes through and I would do extra damage for his auto attack, charge attack, plunge attack, and E, right? Based off of his max HP. 1.3% about from my Zhongli right now is probably going to be 250, 260 extra damage. And that change is not good enough, I think. The buff is not good enough. So if I change his Sense of Eon from attack percentage to HP percentage, I suspect that I'm not going to do a lot of damage anymore. So let's take a look at this. From his attack, 2272 attack, and I had 23k HP, right? And then let's say I give him HP percentage. Then his max HP got increased by about 8k, and I have lost about 400 attack, and 1.39% from my 8k HP I got extra is 111. So I don't know. Overall, Zhongli will end up doing more damage because of the Geo Resonance buff, but they're all not final, right? So let's keep in mind that it seems like they're trying to sell Albedo, and I don't want you guys to get debated by it. I still think Albedo is not going to be that great, so when he comes out, I'm going to pull for him, and I'll do some testing like I did for Zhongli, and then we can talk about whether if Albedo is going to be worth it or not, alright? Even after the Geo Resonance buff, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching this long video, and I hope you guys have a good day. Adios.